and welcome to TLDR at Earshot, where we address the questions everyone is asking, but we make it crisp and fast. I'm Garima, and today we are talking about the NEET paper leak that is causing mental agony to several students and aspirants. Around 22.79 lakh students across India and abroad are affected by the cancellation. Now, we will dig deep into the matter. Let's break it down in this podcast with our guest, senior journalist Nagendra Sharma. Hello, sir, and welcome to the show.
Welcome, Garima.
And so let's begin from the very beginning.
Yes.
How and why did NEET and later NTA came into existence, replacing the older PMT and CPMT exams? And what were the problems with the older system?
Okay. So, Garima, the pre-medical entrance exam, which had been going on, actually post-independence, when medical colleges were being set up, the admissions were happening on the basis of your intermediate exam results. That evolved into states getting into the what was primarily used to be called the pre-medical entrance test, PMD. And then what happened later on, at the national level, it was decided that the Central Board for Secondary Education, CBSE, would conduct an all India PMT, by which 15% seats in all medical colleges would be kept for an all India entrance. That was the precursor. That is how then private medical colleges were mushrooming in the country. Lots of litigation was happening. So the first attempt was made in 2010 by the Supreme Court, saying there should be one single unified entrance exam for admissions to medical colleges for the MBBS level, means at the undergraduate level. As it happens, the matter went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court struck down NEET for undergraduate, the National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test. It was challenged again. So in 2016, the Supreme Court finally ruled that there would be a single entrance exam for admission to all medical colleges in India, government controlled as well as private. Time was taken to set up the NEET, and a couple of years later, NEET came into existence, and then the government of the day decided that the agency to conduct the NEET would be NTA, the National Testing Agency. That is the long and short of the history of how a single unified exam was conceived for admission to medical colleges, both at the undergraduate level and at the postgraduate level.
And the government has cancelled NEET-UG 2026 after allegations of Guess Paper Leak. So what exactly does a leak like this mean in practical terms?
Well, Garima, NEET has been besieged by problems. This year, it is not for the first time. It happened 2 years back. It happened earlier. So allegations of NEET undergraduate paper being leaked have come up regularly. This year, it is far more serious, because in 2024, a batch of students went to the Supreme Court saying that the paper has been leaked. It should be cancelled. At that time, Supreme Court ruled that no, lakhs of students have appeared. We can't cause agony. Therefore, they decided, inquiry was ordered, everything was done, but the paper was finally not cancelled. This time, the matter appears to be far more serious. In the beginning of this month, 3rd May, NEET UGC took place. It's a paper and pen exam, 3-hour exam, single exam, all across the country. As you pointed out, that more than 22 lakh students appeared for the NEET undergraduate exam. Immediately, there were serious allegations that some of the coaching centers, the needle of suspicion is pointing to Kota, that coaching centers there, they had called the students one day before the exam, allegedly. They had shared a sample paper with them, and it is now being alleged. And with the NTA having been forced to cancel the paper, which means it would be held all over again, which we'll discuss, and having ordered a CBI inquiry, therefore, it appears very serious that some of the students knew the question paper, substantial question paper, a day before the exam.
Okay. All right. So how do these paper leaks happen? What are the biggest loopholes, and how are coaching centers responsible?
Look, it is difficult to pinpoint or lay the blame at coaching centers. See, coaching centers require a law in India, that's a different thing. But it is very widespread. Garima, if you look at students who are preparing for NEET, after 10th, those who opt for medical subjects, means those who opt for physics, chemistry, biology, along with a 4th subject and English, which is a compulsory subject, they enroll themselves in coaching centers, and coaching centers actually encourage them not to go to the school or enroll them in schools of their choice. So they are for 2 years almost at the coaching centers. Some of the students who don't get a good score in the first attempt, they take a drop year, go back to the coaching institute, right? So it's a very widespread practice. Actually, there should have been a law by now to, not on paper, practically a law to regulate coaching centers. Now, what happens? There is so much of stake, there is so much of money. The names of the coaching centers depend on how many students have achieved which rank. So this rat race has led to such a sorry situation today that it is almost been proven that some of the coaching centers allegedly have access to those who are setting up the question.
And NTA and NEET were introduced to reduce corruption and create a merit-based standard system, medical admission system. So, but it does not seem to have succeeded in the mission, and because it is consistently surrounded by such controversy every year.
You're right, Garima. The attempt to create a national testing agency was to have a professional organization which would conduct entrance exams. NEET, you have pointed out, then IIT, JEE, joint entrance, then such a big exam for admission to central universities all over the country for which are outside NEET and JEE for commerce, humanities, and sciences admissions, CUET, an exam which continues for 1 month, admission to all central universities. Then NTA is also conducting exams for recruitment, and NTA is also doing exams for several states. So a professional body set up like this being mired in controversies, and look at the situation today. Look at the sorry situation today. In this May, in this May heat, students are out protesting what will happen because though NTA has put out a statement that even if fresh admit cards are to be issued, there is no problem. Fees would either be refunded or would be adjusted with the new. So there is absolute chaos from a body which was created to streamline, to make the entrance exam more professional, to give India, the knowledge hub of the world, a bigger name. But sorry, that has not happened.
Like you mentioned, so a lot of students spend years and years preparing for these exams, and they spend lakhs of rupees preparing for NEET, paying these coaching institutes. And so right now these exams seem more like, less about aptitude and more about the endurance and money and access to coaching. So do these repeated paper leaks damage the faith of students in the merit system, and also like how they impact the aspirants, especially those who come from smaller towns and economically weaker backgrounds?
Absolutely, it does. See, unfortunately, what is happening? Yes, why these coaching centers have come up? Coaching centers have come up because for the lack of avenues, parents want their children to do well. So therefore, you choose science stream, for example. So you would actually want to crack IIT, or you would want to crack the NEET. You would like to become an engineer or a doctor. Now, the only option is that you have to qualify the entrance exam. Those who have resources can go into private colleges. For them, appearing in NEET is only a technical eligibility. The rank doesn't matter much. But the cutthroat competition comes for those who want to get into a good medical college, like the big names in India, except for All India Institute of Medical Sciences, which has its own entrance. All others are covered by NEET. You can leave out, say, Armed Forces Medical College or some others. So private colleges, it is only a technical requirement. The very purpose for which NEET was introduced, to put a check on private colleges, actually defeats there. Because those who have resources, those who can give capitation fees, they only have to appear in NEET. They don't need a rank. Now, those aspiring to get into good colleges, what is the option? You need to know, as you have pointed out, that the entrance exam does not actually test the student's caliber. It is more of a copybook style of thing. There is a particular pattern on which the question paper is set. So you need to cram yourself for that. One may be a very intelligent student, but the way the entrance the question paper is set may not actually bring out the best in you. But unfortunately, that is the way admissions are given. So that is why everybody falls into that trap.
So, like, do we have actually any solution to such problems? Because this system only seems to favor, people who are from economically stronger backgrounds, because
what is happening is that some state governments have come up with incentives that they provide free coaching to those not coming from really economic well-off sections. Uh, Actually, the way India is respected across the globe for being a knowledge hub, a much better system should have been evolved by now.
yeah.
But unfortunately, that is not to be. So right now, the solution actually seems elusive. Only solution that can be is that conduct the entrance exam in an impartial manner, conduct it in such a manner that the faith of lakhs of students and their parents is not eroded, and the education system does not become a joke.
Thank you, sir. So I think we have covered all the important aspects about this major issue which has impacted lack of NEET aspirants. And we hope the concerned authorities are soon able to find a reasonable solution to this. And it was great talking to you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And a big thanks to our audience for listening. And we'll see you soon in the next episode of TLDR at Earshot. Bye-bye.
You are listening to Earshot Podcasts. Find us on our website, earshot.in, on YouTube at Earshot Media, and download our app, Earshot, Indian podcast app.